Hello and welcome to this next part of Danganronpa Another. Last time Yamato Kisaragi died, seemingly it only could have been Mikako, but I don't believe that, and we're probably entering the Ace Attorney arc of this game now.
I just... There's so much strange about this case that I'm just like, it genuinely could be anyone. I personally don't have Mikako off the table, but I do think it's rather weird that the body discovery rang while she was in the room and only two other people were. Which usually means that... because the body discovery can't ring if the killer's in the room. So this whole case has me a little confused, but we'll see what the fuck's going on.
Yep, I can't imagine any of these surviving characters as a killer, really.
I can't either. That's what the part that has me baffled. That makes me think that, like, either someone is slowly getting their memories back, or, like, I think we have some temperaments from the referee.
Oi, oi, oi.
Would be interesting if that is the case, but I have no clue. I just can't see any of them murdering anyone.
Alright, then let's start the investigation to find out stuff.
Yeah!
Kisaragi. His body was at a level that I couldn't even open my eyes to see. His chest was severely damaged and his internal organs were much more visible. What? Oh gee. It's like he was hit by a grenade. That's why they didn't show him from the front.
It is, and this is an accurate description.
Oh gee. In truth, we didn't really know all that much about him. I wanted to know him, but due to his brain problems, it was impossible to have a proper understanding of each other, and the time we were together was absurdly short. Still, according to Maikaru's hypothesis, it's just that we did not remember, and Kisaragi may have been our friend too. And even if he wasn't, it was hard to react so casually to someone's death you've been in touch in so little time. Kisaragi, I wanted to know a little more about you. Come to think of it, the last time we saw Kisaragi at the dining hall, he seemed to have changed for a brief moment. No, the case comes first. Let's put all these questions behind, otherwise we will die. First, as always, let's check the Monokuma file. The victim is Yamato Kisaragi. Estimated time of death was approximately 8:30 AM. The cause of death was due to shock from a laceration. A huge hole in his chest. No other injuries were found.
I think the description of this is a little...
vague.
Like, I feel like it's not super accurate. So, I feel like a better way to describe this injury... I understand why they're describing it for this case, because this case goes a certain way. But, like, when you figure out what actually happened, that's not the best description for it.
So, what Yuki said is just accurate. The Monokuma file, not so.
Yeah. Yuki's explanation of it through, like, perceiving it is more accurate than what the Monokuma file is saying. I can agree with that.
This is the end of it? Of course, the Monokuma file is less informative, but this one is especially bad. Well, let's summarize the information that we can confirm only with this. The time of death was 8:30 AM. It was around 15 to 20 minutes when Kisaragi left the dining hall to find Kurokawa. It can be said that there's no contradiction regarding the time. The problem is that someone killed Kisaragi within 10 minutes or so after leaving the dining hall.
And he lost that much blood.
Yeah.
Which is already super abnormal.
No, let's not blindly doubt. As Mikado said, it's never too late to do this at a class trial. As it seems obvious, there is a high possibility that there are facts we don't know. Other than this, there was only a brief description written, not even an object believed to be the murder weapon. If we think about this in reverse, the weapon itself might be highly related to the case. Yes, we already know that from experience. Since the time of death itself was a trick, there was a Monokuma file that hid the estimated time of death. But now, if it's like this, there doesn't seem to be any indication that would make our thinking from left to right. Let's focus on that. Alrighty.
Already starting it off weird.
Yes. Let's look at the poor boy. Kisaragi's dead body. Kisaragi's eyes were open and empty. He looked like a high school student, no different from us. The handsome face with distinct features was so straight that my brain didn't think it was strange. Well, I can't figure it out just by using the Monokuma file. I'll have to check it out. Kisaragi's body was more severely damaged than the deaths of any of my friends I'd seen. It was so cruel that I got goosebumps just looking at it. Like a brutal splatter movie scene. But I can't turn my eyes away. I have to make up my mind and investigate anything we can check. As written in the Monokuma file, the flesh on his chest is completely torn apart. It's so terrifying that I don't know how to describe it. Is that what it feels like to be exposed to dynamite or a grenade at a very close range? Of course, if that happens, not only the chest but the whole body would fly away. In the case of Kisaragi, the degree of wound in his chest was too large, but the rest of his body was fine. The Monokuma file also said that there was no trauma other than the chest. The problem is, I can't even imagine what the method to use in order to create a wound like this would be like. For now, since the ballroom is still open, I can think of it as one of the weapons in the arsenal. Wouldn't it be impossible to detonate only the chest with such precision with a bomb? Not to mention the time for the crime is way too short for such meticulous work. Anyway, what is certain is that Kisaragi died from this wound, and no more wounds were found. Let's talk with everyone at the class trial about it. As of now, there seems to be no way to speculate on this I can't speak. Abnormality, right. A bloody card left in the corner. This card, isn't this something from the lab? It certainly was something we saw in the lab. The fact that this card is so bloody. Was it used to carry a dead body? It is large enough to carry one person, and although it is a bit difficult, it seems that you can climb places such as stairs by lifting the handle. Actually, I was concerned about it a while ago, but there was blood in the hallway of the 5th floor. We found that if they had entered the record room through the ballroom, could they not have shed a drop of blood while carrying the body there? Nope, I don't think so. I've always thought it was weird, but it's not impossible if you use this card. No, I don't know where exactly Kisaragi died yet. If it was hidden after entering the records, then blood might not matter at all. If we look at this that way, the fact that this car is in the record room itself means that it has climbed the railing of the ballroom? Does that make sense? More and more confusion grows in my mind. Either way, the presence of card and blood on it means that it was involved in the case in some way. Let's keep it noted. Weird. BTW. This kitchen knife is clean. This is the knife Kurokawa was holding when the body was found. Did Kurokawa really? With this knife to Kisaragi? Why Kurokawa? Before the question, I first felt something odd with this knife. The Monokuma file I read a while ago, clearly it said there was no other trauma other than a chest hole, right? was clearly written that way. Besides, just looking at Kisaragi's corpse right in front of me, there were no traces of the use of a knife. And not just the corpse. When I looked again, the knife itself was clean without a drop of blood. Then, is this it? The knife is simply for a distraction. No, but why was Kurokawa holding the kitchen knife in the first place? I shouldn't do this. When I start to think like this, I continue to doubt only Kurokawa. Let's not get caught in our prejudice until we go to the trial. Didn't we already experience this 4 times before the previous trials? Kurokawa wouldn't have been holding this knife for no reason. Let's make a note of it. Ah, that was not what I wanted. Yep.
Oh, I have a weird theory.
Hmm?
Already alluded to some sort of bomb, right?
Yep.
I don't see no scissors. If the bomb had wires, what if you just, cut the wrong fucking wire? Then it explodes anyway.
Oh.
You know? That's my thought, because why else would the knife be completely clean? And why else would we still be talking about a bomb? And there's no sign of, anything that made that wound that I can see in this room.
Yeah.
Interesting. Hey, Maida, I have something to tell you.
Huh? Akane, did you find out something?
No, rather than finding, I'll tell Ray about it later. Do you remember? When Ray asked me to go check out the lab, there were pieces of flesh.
Pieces of flesh? What are you talking about?
I don't know. It was a few or the size of a mass of flesh. They were formed in a huge clump.
What did I say about a mountain of corpses?
Yeah. It was so grotesque and bizarre that I almost fainted on the spot. I was trembling and tried to calm down and let you all know, but Maida and Ray were already gone.
Wait a moment. Bloody flesh? Isn't this related to Kisaragi's death?
Yes, I've noticed it too. The only wound among us was... Wow, why would you put this in here?
Yes.
Yes, I've noticed it too. The only wounded among us was Kisaragi, who died. But doesn't that mean that Kisaragi died in the lab? Yeah, that makes sense. If it's
Yep.
if there was an explosion, there would be way more blood than what's in this room right now. It would have been somewhere else. And also, it explains the blood trail as to why it, from there to here and whatever.
Mhm.
I don't know for certain to this point, but at least I'm pretty sure the culprit did something to them in the lab.
Ah. Akane, thank you. Thanks to you, I got an important clue.
That's an interesting run off there, Zeffy. Alright, I'll leave it alone. It's okay. After all, it's thanks to Ray that told me to go to the lab.
And got traumatized.
Yeah, but that's fine, I guess. Well then, I'll tell the other guys about it too.
Still, there were many restrictions in the records, so I was wondering about the place Kisaragi died. If Akane's words are true, there's the possibility that Kisaragi was also murdered elsewhere and brought to the records. Since Akane informed me, I'll go check the laboratory directly a little later.
Do we have to?
We probably have to.
Yeah, I know.
It's just Danganronpa blood.
Yeah.
A whole mess of it.
Yeah.
Maida, do you have time for a minute? No, even if it's not okay, listen up. Well, it's fine, but why? Have you tried talking with Mikako Kurokawa? No, not yet. She looks shocked about this. I'll be completely honest, I can't think of anyone other than Kurokawa as the culprit in this case, if we consider the perspective of the elimination method. What? Wait a minute, wasn't you the one who said to investigate since we don't know this yet? As I said, this is only the elimination method. Of course we have to investigate. But look at this. The victim, Yamato Kisaragi, ran out to find Mikako Kurokawa while we were all together. And after that, we were together until that guy was found dead. It wasn't like this until we arrived at the 5th floor hallway that something had already happened. Until it happened. Theria went to see Kinjo and Hyra went to check on a laboratory, right? I asked them so it would be impossible to break up with us and then commit murder. And even before I asked them, the hallway on the 5th floor was already covered in blood. Kinjo. Theria said he was safe. It's more like he's been fighting on his own rather than being safe, but I can't see him being involved in this crime. You're right. After all, what Theria said a while ago was wrong, but nothing is amiss. The only one capable to commit this is Mikako Kurokawa. If you think this far, there are two possibilities. One is that the real culprit is Mikako Kurokawa. The second one, other than Mikako Kurokawa, overturned all of their doubts towards her, and they are laughing behind this whole scheme. Then all of this was planned? Actually, everything seems a little vague. Neither of these have definitive conclusions. The incident itself is very unusual and abnormal. We still need to do more investigation. For real. However, there is one thing with certainty. Mikako Kurokawa is the only one who doesn't have an alibi. She doesn't have an alibi. Then, does this mean that it's meaningless to consider this case based on alibi? If anyone other than Kurokawa is the culprit, that means they've been walking alongside us all along, committing the murder. Anyway, let's investigate further. Mikado, thank you for the information. I didn't really tell you anything worth deserving your thanks now, did I? Now the real problem is bigger than you can imagine. Hold your mind steady and investigate. Yeah, the alibi problem.
Yeah, this is already gonna be kind of confusing. She looks freaked the fuck out.
Yeah, I don't think she's holding up well.
I mean, considering she knows him and now he's dead, she's probably not vibing.
Kurokawa. When Mikado and I found the body, Kurokawa was standing in front of Kisaragi holding a kitchen knife with her whole body covered in blood, as if the murder scene had just been discovered. Since Kurokawa hasn't said a word, what in the world happened? What is the truth? Did Kurokawa commit murder? Yuki... what is it? The things you want to say, I know them. What? Because I know. Don't ask anything now. As she said that, Kurokawa handed me a small notebook. What is this? Yamato Kisaragi had a notebook. Huh? Looking through the notebook Kurokawa handed over, I found a page with a number written on it among countless of blank pages. 0430. Probably the password to the record room?
Yeah, that seems... Because I remember Monokuma saying it was a 4-digit code.
Kurokawa, is this? Don't ask me anything. But Kurokawa, even when we found the body earlier... Please. Oh boy. Not now. Don't ask me. I know nothing. She's about to face a life-threatening class trial and she was probably at the center of this case, and yet she tries to push it back somehow. I couldn't take my heart away from Kurokawa's expression like that. Still, this number that Kurokawa gave me, no matter how much I think about it, if it's related to somehow to this incident, then this is the password to the records? Kurokawa seems to have left a great clue. I'll check the password a little later. For now, let's continue the investigation. Alright.
I don't know. I don't know about that interaction. I think she just doesn't want to talk to him.
That could also be it.
I mean, considering he threatened her in the hallway, I feel like she just doesn't want to talk to him.
Probably, yeah.
So did we investigate the cart and the knife already?
Yep.
Okay. The second floor of the ballroom was connected to the record room. As per the cloth outside, how did the culprit know about this?
Well, Mikado noticed it right away, so it might not be so strange.
Maybe, because Mikaru is the killer, and Buddy, no.
I cannot imagine it.
Also, like, you gotta think, I feel like the only reason someone would know this is here is if they already knew the building. I'm joking. I'm a grown-up now. I won't do anything rash. Honest. He's such a dork, I love him.
A cloth was attached to the railings so that we could go upstairs. With this cloth we were able to enter the archives. This cloth has been set already when Mikado and I, who first checked the records, entered through the ballroom. Then, as expected, the culprit must have installed it, or the victim.
Yeah, it could be either of them, honestly.
I felt it when I first climbed it, but it was tied really well. Not only that, the texture of this cloth, I think I've touched it a lot somewhere. A tablecloth? Anyway, without this cloth you can't go in or out of the records, so let's be careful not to break it. The person who installed this cloth is most likely the culprit. With this alone, this cloth itself could be proof. Let's keep it noted. The entrance of the records. Without entering the ballroom, if you enter normally, this would be a normal passage leading to the 5th floor hallway. Also, it doesn't even open from the inside. The door to the records is locked with a password, so it seems impossible to open it from the inside or outside if you don't know the password to it. Moreover, Monokuma said that only one person can enter the records. In other words, as long as we are here, even if we enter the password, it won't open. Mikado? I don't know about the others, but you and I know, right? Only one can enter, and if 2 or more try to enter at the same time, the bulkhead will come down to block this. That's right, yeah. I didn't even tell them that when we reported on an investigation. Perhaps the place we're standing in here right now is where the bulkhead is lowered. What? Then if we should get out of here. What if the wall suddenly comes down and we get hurt? Don't make a fuss about it. Monokuma did the same, right? After all, the second bulkhead will be lowered after entering the password. It's safe now. What's more important now is the structure of this record room. Only you can enter alone, because the fact itself can have a profound effect in this case. Is that so? Should we care much about the door of the entrance to this room? I mean, we all don't know the password, and we can only access it through the ballroom. If it wasn't for the most likely suspect and victim, I couldn't care. What? No big deal. Anyway, it's good to remember the rules of entering the records. Only one person can enter the records. 2. It won't open if someone is already inside. 3. If 2 or more enter at the same time, the bulkhead comes down. Remember this, you have to explain it to the others too. That means you're asking me to explain it. Mikado, can't you do it? Remember. Okay.
You really trying to ask her to do things when she barely likes talking to everybody else? You're funny.
We have access to the ballroom, so I thought the records was good with just that. If we listen to Mikado, it seems the records will be a more important place than I thought. Let's commit it to memory.
Okay, maybe now
Yeah.
we can go investigate somewhere else.
I think I've examined everything in the records. I searched as much as I could, but I found very little. Damn it. To begin with, the case itself is somewhat strange. I feel a sense of contradiction within itself. I didn't feel it in the previous 4 cases, but I felt something foreign compared to the previous ones. I can't help but complain, since Monokuma hasn't made his broadcast yet, so there's still time remaining. And there was also something I heard from Akane. There was some flesh pieces in the lab. Let's check that with our own eyes.
Good lord.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes. It's just hanging right there in the hallway.
Yeah. It's really like Akane said. Bloodiness. It feels wrong. This is the flesh piece Akane mentioned. As Akane mentioned, a chunk of flesh of the size of 2 human fists was rolling around in blood. It was so messed up that I couldn't even tell which part it was, but it looked like a piece of meat before being trimmed at a butcher's shop.
Would that technically be the part that's missing from his chest?
It could
Size
be.
of 2 fists. Yeah, that definitely fits on the torso because I'm doing it right now, and yeah, that fits.
It's terrible. I stopped thinking right now and just wanted to get out of here, but this chunk of flesh has something to do with it too. I have to investigate as far as I can. The flesh was crushed everywhere, and it was shaken violently as if it had been squeezed with force. There's something like dust on it, and I was wondering what purpose it was for. Come to think of it, bloodstains in the hallway on the 5th floor were seen from the laboratory to the records. Even this chunk of flesh now has bloodstains on the outside of the laboratory. Then the bloodstains in the hallway might not have flowed from the corpse itself, but from this piece of flesh that had fallen off. Why did the culprit do such a terrible thing? To disguise as if the corpse was moved. But it's too sloppy to do that. In the beginning, the archives was where the body was found. It was too clean for the murder to take place. As I guessed while talking with Akane, Kisaragi may actually have been killed in this laboratory. That thought only grew more. There's something near the mass of flesh. A grenade? Maybe? This is...
Yeah.
what? It looks similar to the smoke grenade used in Haru's incident. A bomb? It can't be. The thing that killed Kisaragi was... Sorry, but that's not it. Mikado, you were in the lab too? In what time? Hi, I just came and got a report from Tyra about the lab. Isn't that why you're here too? That's true. But what's not it? Mikado, do you know what this bomb is? Bomb or ever gas bomb, that's it. Actually, I should say it's an anesthetic gas that temporarily causes paralysis. Anesthetic gas? A kind of nerve gas. It's not harmful to the body. It's a bomb in form of a gas grenade, so it looks like it was made for military purposes. But the gas itself is also used for medical purposes. I see. How did you know that? I'm not stupid. It's all written there, isn't it? Even if it's written, it's all in English. Ah, Yuki. Well, I think I'll only get more insults if I say any more than this. Anyway, this anesthetic gas, it was used by the culprit, right? That's right, there are plenty of grenades like this in our arsenal. After disabling Kisaragi with this, did they manipulate the case to fit the trick? But I still can't figure it out. Well, that aside, it's time to go to the trial. Did you find out anything? Well, vaguely. Looking at the state of the flesh, I guessed that the bloodstains in the hallway did not spread from the corpse itself, but from this piece of flesh. And you don't know why they made such a hassle, don't you? Yep. Right, something is seriously wrong here. It's not a surprise, cause I'm the same. Mikado, what were you looking at inside? I'm just checking to see if there's something that belongs to Yamato Kisaragi. Checking why? Think about it, the bodies of those who have died so far are kept in a laboratory, right? Isn't there a possibility that it's a piece of flesh cut out from there? Yeah. What, you... Mikado, did you check the corpses one by one? Huh. Fortunately, there was no traces of anyone touching them. So it's likely that piece of flesh belonged to Kisaragi Yamato. She really took one for the team.
Oh my god, she's the strongest woman I have ever met. I love her.
Yeah, that must have been terrible.
It's probably awful considering the state all of them are in.
Yeah. Not that. What about the dead friends? What? Do you want to sue me for checking a corpse? If we don't find out more about the truth, we ourselves will turn into corpses, won't we? That's... Save it. I don't have the luxury to talk to you, because we are arguing for nothing right now. I'm not in the mood to get angry. Mikado's condition from a while ago, as of now. You don't know either, right, Mikaru? About this case? No, I think I've got a decisive factor. Seriously? Do you know who the killer is? What I should say is, I don't understand. I feel like I just found the answer without knowing the solution. What are you talking about? Look closely at next of the flesh there. Some letters are displayed there. Letters? What is this? Mikako, yeah. Blood writing. A dying message?
It's funny, I could actually read her name. So I am retaining some of my katakana, it seems. Kind of weird to see her name here. That doesn't really clear her at all. If anything, it makes her more suspicious.
Mikako. Mikako Kurokawa? Maybe, isn't this it? Isn't it possible? Anyone who sees it, it is pointing to that woman. Such a decisive clue. Then the culprit is Kurokawa? Well, if you think about it normally, that's it. However, something is wrong. All the clues say that Mikako Kurokawa is the culprit. It fits perfectly. There is an unresolved problem to say that the woman is the culprit. Now even his dying message points to a name that is neither a password nor a hint. You don't even need to process it. Common sense dictates if you're the culprit. There's Yuki Maeda written on the scene. Would you leave it alone? I would erase it. That's weird. That's so weird. Even if this is the correct answer, there's not one or two oddities. Damn it. A woman like me falling for this?
Wait a minute. We sent Akane by herself to go investigate this.
Yes.
Why didn't she mention that there was a name written there? She only noticed the flesh.
To be fair, she was mentally unprepared to see the flesh, so she could have recalled
That's fair.
hard.
That's fair, but what if it wasn't there when she saw it?
That could also be.
It's weird. All right, I think the investigation will be over soon. So let's get started, shall we? The fifth one! Let's start the fifth class trial. All gather at the courtroom on the first floor.
It's finally starting. Let's go. The trial will be conducted and a decision will be made. There's no choice. I'll do my utmost effort to help out as long as I cooperate with you guys. That should be reassuring enough, right? Yeah, so far I've passed the class trial 4 times. Let's trust everyone. It will definitely work out somehow to find out the culprit.
You were here.
Teria, what's wrong?
Well, wait a minute. I have to show you something.
What do you mean? We have to go to the courtroom.
It's only for a minute. You have to go down to the first floor anyway. Let's go to the dormitory for a moment.
The dormitory? What's going on there? I decided to go down to the dormitory following Teria, who looked desperately different from usual. Huh. Where Teria took us was...
Mikako room.
Why does she have bones in here?
She's an exorcist.
Exorcists deal with spirits and ghosts. I thought.
Yes, but you can also cleanse remains. There's certain like yokai spirits and whatnot that like can manifest and cause problems if the remains aren't properly cleansed. So sometimes you gotta dig them up and then you gotta cleanse them and then you gotta bury it back up. Or hell, sometimes you even have to burn them. It's weird.
Alrighty then I just ignore it, I guess.
Yeah, I decided to, but yeah.
Hey, this is Kurokawa's private room, isn't it? Teria, why in the world are you... Before the why, how comes first. You can't enter someone else's private room without a key. How did you get into Mikako Kurokawa's private room?
No. I was trying to stop by my room for the last time because I was afraid that might go to the trial in advance. That's when I saw Kurokawa's private room was wide open.
Weird.
Mm-hmm.
The door was open?
I excused myself into Kurokawa's room. I came in for a while to find out what was going on. I found something surprising. Come this way. Oh, I just realized, look at the bed. It's got no sheets.
Huh.
This bed. The sheet is missing.
Really trying to hammer it in again and again, eh?
Yeah, it's really...
But
This case has me really conflicted, alright? This case has me really conflicted, alright? Because realistically, yes, she is the only one who could have done it. Also, the evidence is being shoehorned into our face. Like, almost like it's too obvious. And then you have how Monokuma's behaving. Where he's like, I just want to get this case over with. Why? Like, what the hell's going on?
Though I think this clue could actually help a bit with clearing her name. Because this basically means that she didn't go through the front with the password. She went through the back to the ballroom. Which makes it unlikely that she used the card.
It's either that, or...
God damn it.
No!
Alright, tea incident is over.
Yeah. I unfortunately do not remember where my thought was going.
I also don't really... Monokuma is doing something.
Yeah, I just think Monokuma's acting really sus, and this case is being, like, shoved into our face in the oddest way, and it's like, it's almost like, one, he's impatient, and he wanted a murder to happen, and so it happened, but I don't know what the fuck happened, really. And then you got all this evidence pinning Kurikawa, but then you have the weird thing about, like, that she was part of the body discovery? Like, she was one of the 3 to see the body?
Yep.
Which is also fucking weird. And then you have it that her sheet is on the banister. So, either she went in through the back door, or that was tied in there when she was already inside. And the reason I say that is because the anesthetic gas. What if both of them were hit by it and they were just moved in there?
That, not impossible.
Because this all happened in the span of 10 minutes. And she was already on the 5th floor, so how could she have taken this sheet and put it on the banister in the span of 10 minutes? If anything, I remember what I was going to say. The 2 of them are close, right? And how the affection system works in this game is when you are close enough, you can go in and out of someone's room. You just have the permission to do that. What if he's the one who hung it up there? Not her.
Huh. That could also be it.
Because he was in a hurry to go and find her, and he went to the 5th floor. It's either that, or someone else snagged it from her room, hit it on the banister, and the 2 of them got plopped in there.
For a second I was wondering why he even would need the back door if he knows the password, but if Mikako was already in the room, then the password wouldn't work.
Yes. And then there's also the other the thing that you have to think of. If the anesthetic gas was used, if there's 2 heartbeats, that door won't open. The cart is by the back door, which is even weirder. Because how would you get that cart back there? How would you get the cart to the back door whenever you have to use a sheet in order to climb there in the first place? It's like a lot of these clues are backwards and almost don't make sense. Or like they were put there intentionally to try and stir a different narrative. And if you're not paying attention, it'll make sense, but if you're paying enough attention, then it's like, okay, this probably goes here, but why is it near the other entrance? It's just fucking weird.
Yep. No bedsheet? Only hers. Why Kurokawa's room? The cloth hanging from the railing of the ballroom, so that was it. It was this bedsheet. What?
Yeah, I noticed it too. Kurokawa's bedsheet were torn and tied together.
Wait, but then why was Kurokawa's sheet used?
What else could it be? It's because she's the culprit, and this is not far-fetched. As it has been before. If this is not solid evidence, then what the heck is? It's almost too obvious is the
Yes.
problem.
Evidence. Evidence to be so openly like this. This is no longer reasoning or being ignorant. This is really... Mikado?
Hey, what are you guys doing? Didn't the announcement told you to go gather at the courtroom? Miss Tyra and Miss Kurakawa are waiting for you. Yeah. We've been away for too long. Seriously. I've seen you do this once or twice before, so you think you can be late now? Originally, it's just a calling for a quick execution!
Maeda, Teria, let's go to the courtroom. We can't avoid a class trial. Okay.
Third time that someone's been late to a class trial and Monokuma hasn't done anything.
Yep.
All because we've gotten evidence out of it. I find that interesting. Now, we've finally got everyone together. A little late, but let's get started right away. As always, please take the elevator down. And for reference, Kinjo is alive, but he's unconscious, so I gave him a special break for this trial. The number of people will be small, but let's work hard.
5 people, including me. It's necessary to uncover the truth of the case with such a small number of people.
Maida, what in the world were you doing to be so late like this? Otori and Ray too. Sorry, I was taking them somewhere. Really? I was so worried. I thought something happened, because Mikako doesn't say anything.
Well, we're not dead anyway, right? Let's go down. Everyone is ready, right? Ahead of the outcome, this might be the last class trial. Why the last one? Why? Because common sense. We're already 5. Except for Kinjo, I can't see any hopeless people, so when this class trial is over, there will be only 4 people left. If the number of people is reduced to that point, there will be no murders or trials. The fewer the people, the more difficult it is to act.
It does make sense, but that goes for when we pass this trial safely, right? Yes, of the 5 of us, there's a culprit. Even for the others who have died so far. It can't end here.
That's all we need to know. Let's begin then, the final climax event.
I don't know about that. We got a whole other chapter and a half.
Yep. It may be the last class trial. Mikaru's last comment, who wasn't sure if it was filled with certainty, overlapped with the number of remaining survivors. It dug deeper into my chest. I also have to make up my mind. Overcoming a life-threatening class trial. This school. No, to escape this building. To survive safely and to see my family again. To find out the truth. Now?
I mean, we did have a lot of, nonsense happen in between then and there. So, and we did get like 4 pieces of evidence in that span of time, so whatever.
Alright, last check-in. This case, I don't like it. Whether it's a trick, no evidence, or a culprit.
I won't be scared or withdrawn anymore, because we can't end here without knowing anything. The culprit who killed Kisaragi must be identified. Culprit? It's already out there. It'll be okay. We won't die here.
Alrighty
Like, she's
then.
already normally pretty withdrawn, but she
Yeah.
seems more withdrawn than usual.
Everyone, are you ready? Let's go. A silence so heavy that crushes us lingers in the elevator. Not only was it the tension that the class trial was about to begin, but it was also due to the insufficient number of people. Kinjo is still alive, but frankly, there's not much hope. No, just being alive is still a hopeful thinking. Mikado said that it is highly likely that this will be the last class trial. I really wish it was, but due to the nature of the class trials, 1 out of 5 people will never be able to go back up to this elevator again. Still, we have no choice but to do it.
Maida? Did you say something?
Nothing, just talking to myself. Yeah, we have to do it. Since the very first time Maki was murdered, this has been repeated over and over again. We have no choice. There is none. The elevator stopped with a heavy sound, and we stepped into the class trial for a 5th time. Craving for hope to survive.
Oh dear God, what is this room? Monokuma, you need to take an interior decorating class or just not do this at all, because this is atrocious. I am offended. I don't even know how to decorate, but my gay ass could do better than this.
It's an insult to my eyes, yes.
I hate it. Oh, fuck. Hey, you're finally here. I thought I was going to die from exhaustion of waiting. Why does the atmosphere in this courtroom seem to be getting more colorful? Oh, Tori, you have the eyes to look, I see. This time I designed it with special care. You need to stop. Doesn't it just make your eyes glow? No. It makes me want to take them out of my head.
He should have just stuck with the whole Danganronpa pink all over, not this rainbow stuff too.
What the fuck? Ew. Mikako's like, I cannot. Oh, hell. Now, the number of people is small, so why not start early? As always, please go to your selected seats. Also, you see Yamato's fucking photo there?
Yeah. With the Kisaragi sign.
Why the hell? Anyway. Even though there are only 5 people here, the fewer the numbers, the more interesting the case. Will the Blacken succeed in escaping this time? Will hope win again? Let's get started.
And so it begins, the 5th class trial. The 5th crossroad of death. The victim of this case, Kisaragi. There's also the Kisaragi Foundation that used to exist, but his existence itself was the number 1 suspect on the candidate to be the mastermind. But I was thinking differently about Kisaragi. His brain was a bit weird. He couldn't communicate well, but no matter how you looked at him, he didn't look like a villain. If we had talked a little bit more, we might have known more about him. To think they would end up like this. And after Kisaragi's appearance, Kurokawa's condition became strange to anyone looking at it. In the end, she emerged as the most likely candidate to be the culprit, and everyone became suspicious of her. However, the truth is, even if I don't want to know, soon it will be revealed. No, it must be revealed. Our resolves will cross each other, and the trial shall begin. A life-threatening discussion, a life-threatening lie, a life-threatening betrayal, a life-threatening explanation, a life-threatening excuse, a life-threatening trust, a life-threatening class trial. Oui, oui.
It's time.
Fast check up.
Yeah.
Is due to laceration on the groove, huge trauma on his chest, no other injuries were found. That's a lot of text. The victim,
Yeah.
Kisaragi, suffered serious injuries such that his chest was completely blown away, revealing the entire inside of his body. The Monokuma file also mentioned that this wound was the direct cause of death. However, there are no other noticeable traumas. What kind of thing can destroy only this part without touching anything else? This is the knife Kurokawa was holding when the body was found. At first I thought that Kurokawa might have hurt Kisaragi with the knife, but the Monokuma file did not mention any wound by knife, and the knife itself was clean with no blood on it. Was it just for a distraction? Even so, why was Kurokawa holding a knife? A card from the lab was left at the scene of the incident, covered in blood. The fact that the card was covered in blood means that it may have carried a corpse, but if you could enter the records from the ballroom, could you bring this card upstairs? It's still full of mysteries, including to this point. Kisaragi's handbook was handed over from Kurokawa, a handbook that Kisaragi had. It was mostly blank, but there was a number, 0430, written on one page. What is the purpose of the number? There's a high probability, but it's a guess that this is the password due to the door of the records. But why did Kurokawa give this to us? Mikado clearly states that the only one who can commit the murder is Kurokawa in this case. The reason is that from the time Kisaragi, the victim, last appeared in front of us, except for Kurokawa, the others had been with us all the way until the body was found. Is Kurokawa really the culprit? Entrance of the records. There are the 3 rules. Only one person can enter the records. When there's already someone inside, the door won't open. If 2 people go at the same time, a bulkhead door closes the room. Because of these rules, is the record room itself heavily involved in this case, or... You cannot enter the record room unless you know the password. However, the emergency exit in the back was strangely connected to the dance hall of the ballroom. The problem is that there's a door on the high railing as it was 1 floor higher, so someone had hung a white cloth to access. It must be the culprit's doing, but haven't I seen this cloth somewhere else? Mentioned by Hakane, there was someone's chunk of flesh around the lab. According to Mikado, it is presumably belonged to the victim Kisaragi. The shape is squeezed beyond recognition, and bloodstains from the flesh are connected to the hallway corridor. Could the bloodstain in the hallway on the 5th floor really be this piece of flesh? It's a gas grenade that had been used in the laboratory. It is called anesthetic gas, and there is a possibility that the victim was neutralized rather than killed immediately. These kinds of things must come from the arsenal. There was a dying message written in blood in the laboratory floor. The victim Kisaragi must have written it with all his might. It says Mikako, but most of us who know who this name refers to, even if it's true. Would a criminal just leave the dying message that pointed out their name so openly and leave it behind by their own decision? Kurokawa's room was open for some reason. Also, the bedsheets went missing inside. I thought I had seen the white cloth tied to the railing of the ballroom somewhere, but it's highly likely that it's from her private room bed. Not to mention, why would Kurokawa's sheets be gone? We don't really have many.
Nope.
Alrighty then I would end the part here.
Yeah.
And we shall tackle the 5th class trial next time.
Yeah.
boy.
Bye.
So until then, goodbye.